A lot of blood has been spilled in Ecuador. I think Ecuador is experiencing a democratic crisis. We meet all the criteria of a narco-state. That's how I see it. My name's Tamia Villavicencio Sandova. I'm the daughter of Fernando Villavicencio, the journalist and presidential candidate assassinated in August 2023.
Las mafias tienen que saber que les ha llegado la hora. Aquí está Don Villa. Que vengan los capos del narco. Vengan. Que vengan los sicarios. Que vengan. Se acabó el tiempo de la amenaza. Aquí estoy yo.
Tamia's father, Fernando Villavicencio, was an investigative journalist known throughout Ecuador. He fought against corruption in politics and business and took on the drug cartels.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Interrumpimos la señal, la programación habitual de Ecuavisa para informarles una noticia de último momento. Cerca de las 18 horas, 6 de la tarde, ocurrió un ataque armado en un mitin político en el que participaba el candidato presidencial Fernando Villavicencio. Esto sucedió específicamente en el actual de Villavicencio.
Fernando Villavicencio took a bullet to the head and died soon afterwards.
A week before the assassination, we told him, "Papa, it's dangerous." He told me, "Yes, I could get killed."
Sí, puede ser que me maten.
In 2023, her father was running to become the president of Ecuador. He was murdered that August, just 11 days before the election.
Si hubiera cortado tus alas, no te habrías marchado. Si hubiera cortado tus alas, no te habrías marchado. A mi lado estaría, pero dejarías de ser el pájaro al que yo amo. Pero dejarías de ser el pájaro al que yo amo.
At the cemetery, a woman speaks to Tamia.
Our president.
Gracias.
I'm Paul Moposita. They call me Disfraz. I have my collective, Mugresur. I'm a human. I'm a dad, a brother, a son, and a friend too.
He and his musical collective Mugre Sur are en route to their first gig on their tour of Ecuador. Paul co-founded the group over 2 decades ago. They've just released a new album.
Our music is socio-political. It's 80% political. We talk about that. Our music reflects what's going on.
Ecuador was long seen as one of the safest countries in South America, but since neighbouring Colombia began running trade routes for cocaine through Ecuador, violence has exploded.
La sociedad existe para la libertad. Esta es su razón de ser. El hombre es el origen y el fin de la sociedad. El bien personal no puede lograrse sino a través del bien común.
Paul's lyrics reflect that idea. He raps against racism, poverty, and corruption. His name, disfraz, means costume or disguise. Their gigs are both concerts and performance art. Last winter, they caused a scandal when Paul took a cardboard stand-up of Ecuadorian President Daniel Noboa and hung it from a noose. Paul likes to provoke and scandalize.
¿Cómo es el futuro si nos han dicho que no somos nadie? Hemos olvidado las palabras claves. Nos cuesta decir Cayampi o Cutupaxi. Nos cuesta llamar a las cosas por su nombre. A mí los blancos me echaron encima de un muro cuando era un niño. Me crié en un mundo indígena, en esa morada donde la ternura es más intensa que el odio. Yo no soy un aculturado, a nadie he traicionado. Soy un demonio feliz que habla en indio y en cristiano, en español y en quichua. ¿Cómo hacer futuro si nos han dicho que no somos nadie? Una vez más, con Resur y Huachán y Machicuna, Huachis y Rumas. No dejen de beber frente al sistema que te sube la gasolina, que te quita la luz para los puros días. ¡Revélate! ¡Haznos! ¡Revélate! ¡Haznos! ¡Revélate! ¡Haznos! ¡Haznos! ¡Caso! 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 ¡Revélate!
Soy Amanda Villavicencio y este martes 25 de febrero estaremos haciendo un plantón en las afueras de la Fiscalía de Pichincha, en la Ramón Roca y Juan León Mera, para levantar la voz. Recordemos que Fernando Villavicencio luchaba contra la impunidad. Él decía que era la raíz del mal y este es el momento de demostrar que como ecuatorianos valientes podemos levantar la voz y exigir verdad y responsabilidad. Porque por Ecuador nadie se cansa. Por Fernando nadie se cansa.
Bien. Vamos.
Let's go, guys, before my mom drives away with my jacket. Let's go.
A number of people have already been convicted for their roles in her father's assassination. One is the alleged leader of drug gang Los Lobos. He's said to have planned the killing and ordered the hit while in prison. But the Villavicencio family's lawyer suspects a powerful, corrupt network was operating in the background. And the public prosecutor is still investigating whether there were more people behind the killing, with no results so far. Tamia and her mother are on their way to the airport to pick up Tamia's sister, Amanda. Together, they've planned a demonstration in front of the public prosecutor's office to move the investigation forward.
Today, apparently, we're having a meeting with the prosecutor's office. After a year and a half has passed. It's very serious that for a year and a half we've had no answers, no real answers from the state. because we can take the truth.
In Ecuador, many people disappear, are abducted, or shot like Tamia's father. In some regions of the country, the state has lost control over the security situation.
She's arrived.
Yay!
How are you?
Good, though I have an interview soon.
That's right, let's go.
What's up? I called. I was expecting you. Imagine that we as daughters must stage a public protest to exert pressure for a response. And that even though we have, let's call it the means, why do we do this? Because we've learned from our mum and dad that we have to fight and speak up. But honestly, I find it quite difficult. And every day I receive messages on my social networks from people asking me for help. Every day. It's like, look, this happened to me. They did this to my son. They did this to my relative, and I don't know what to do. And justice has failed me, and nobody pays attention to me. And sometimes all I can do is listen to them. For 2 hours, sometimes longer. I can't do more, give them a strategy or something. I'm not an authority or an institution that can provide official support. But whatever happens, we're here, standing firm. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay here and resist because that's what we must do.
Our lives and that of the whole country are worth defending. And that in Dad's life, a life full of dedication, the joy outweighs the grief.
That's right.
Let's hear what Mama says.
I love you very much.
Another case has also shaken Ecuador recently. In December 2024, a traffic surveillance camera captured the military rounding up of 4 Afro-Ecuadorian boys ranging in age from 11 to 15. This was the last time they were seen alive. After that, they simply vanished. The allegation they'd taken part in a robbery later proved to be false. Only after massive public protests was an investigation launched. 16 members of the military were arrested after the boys' bodies were discovered near the Taura airbase. The boys lived here in Las Malvinas, a poor quarter of the port city of Guayaquil. Who killed them and why remains a mystery, but theirs isn't an isolated case. Ecuador's murder rate is higher than ever before. 1,300 killings took place in the first 6 weeks of 2025 alone. That's the highest murder rate in South America. Paul wants to write a song about the boys from Las Malvinas. Disfraz, where are we going?
To Guayaquil first. Here in Guayaquil, there's a march for the 4 boys from Las Malvinas who went missing on December 8th, 2024. We're on our way there now. We're going to meet their parents, their relatives. Let's see how we feel after that.
Seeking answers, the boys' families have organized a protest. It's being held on the same street corner where a surveillance camera took the last known images of Stefan, Josue, Ismail and Nehemiah before their deaths.
We must demolish the structures that make the armed forces of Ecuador and the police believe they can kill another Ecuadorian. They've gone on a rampage against black children.
We just arrived in Guayaquil yesterday. We're here to be present in solidarity with the families not only of the 4 children, but of a lot of people murdered during this government's term. Because, as the gentleman said, if we don't unite, we're not going to be a force today or tomorrow. We must unite. There are no colors, no races. We are humans. Please.
Somos humanos. Por favor.
Paul drives into the quarter of Las Malvinas to meet with Ismael and Josue's parents.
Stephen's dad lives there, just across from the church. And Nehemiah's mum lives on this corner here, at the other end of the block.
We want to know the whole truth about what happened to our kids. We want the truth and justice.
We're not what they say. We're not criminals and terrorists. Maybe they label us that way because we're poor.
Because we're from a vulnerable black neighborhood. We're labeled as such. We're a humble family, but full of values. My mother raised us alone. She was mother and father to us, and she taught us everything. And thanks to her values, we have not gone down the wrong path. We've always tried to do what's right and good. Those values are what we're instilling in our children.
We're here to support you in any way we can.
The stick must go in there.
No, wait. I'm not doing anything. Yes, but still.
Tamia, Amanda and their mother have gathered outside the public prosecutor's office in Quito. They've mobilized their supporters on social media and invited members of the press. Their goal, to remind people about Fernando Villavicencio's murder and demand a full inquiry.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. Mami, venga.
Thank you so much for being here. We're going upstairs now to talk with Public Prosecutor Ana Hidalgo. We've brought some news along with us. Let's see what they say.
Las hijas de Fernando Villavicencio llegaron a la Fiscalía Provincial de Pichincha con el fin de buscar respuestas y con la esperanza de conocer si la investigación para conocer quiénes fueron los autores intelectuales de la muerte de su padre tiene avances.
Que con la mafia no se pacta, y ese es el mensaje que mi papi nos dejó súper claro. Si él estuviera aquí, las cosas serían diferentes.
Autores intelectuales, presos deben ir. 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 Justicia para Fernando. Justicia para... Escuchamos que es gratis.
En rato sí que lo voy a agradecer. Sí, vamos a seguir.
Por si acaso aquí hay un sitio para...
I thought if we were small, we'd be better off.
Amanda and Tamia, you just had a meeting with Prosecutor Hidalgo. What did she tell you about those pulling the strings?
Well, thanks for still being here. Thanks to those who found their way here. It's nice to see so many familiar faces. It's touching. Sometimes we feel so alone. I think we've had a very useful meeting. What strikes me as the most important thing is that another meeting has been scheduled. Asking the question, who ordered the murder of Fernando Villavicencio, is like opening a hornet's nest, isn't it? The moment it's uncovered, we will understand how this country became the narco-state it is now. Ecuador has become a country where stealing and killing is good business, and it has nothing to do with who the president is. It has to do with the fact that we have learned to keep quiet. So the moment we recover our courageous voices, dear Ecuadorian brothers and sisters, things will change and keep changing. And that's where I see my papa, right? It's what he sacrificed his life for. For love of country, it won't be in vain.
Justicia para Fernando, justicia para Fernando, justicia para Fernando, justicia para Fernando,
This hasn't been an easy day for me. But when we were upstairs and I heard the drums and the voices, it was like hearing my father saying, everything's going to be okay. And everything is going to be all right, because you're here with us.
Fernando vive, la lucha sigue. Fernando, tú vives en nuestros corazones. Fernando, tú vives en nuestros corazones. Fernando, tú vives en nuestros corazones. Fernando, tú vives en nuestros corazones.
At the studio, Paul records the song about the four boys. Before they were killed, they were allowed to call their parents one last time.
They call, their mother answers, hello, what's up, son? Where are you? We're in Taura. The military caught us. They beat us. We're here. Come and help us. The mom drops the phone and starts crying. The dad picks up the phone and says, what's going on? Where are you? We're in Taura. We're naked. They beat us. Wait for us there. We'll be right there. The parents go, and nobody's there. I could no longer keep calm. We were face to face. It's crazy.
Let's process it. What's happened to us creatively?
Parece que ser afroecuatoriano es sinónimo de que te apunten con el dedo. Ismael Josué Arroyo, Nehemías Arboleda, Steven Medina, los 4 de Malvinas. 8 de diciembre desaparecieron. Ya no se puede ir a comprar pan ni a jugar fútbol con los panas.
Hoy se abre una pena en la historia de un pequeño pueblo, Ecuador, donde niños juegan pelota y el fusil les pausa el reloj. Ay, mamá, 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 no me esperes senta en la sala. Si la brisa cruza la cuadra, es mi voz siendo silenciada.
It's your responsibility. Yours because you keep consuming cocaine at parties. Because you in Europe snort coke and could care less how many kids are dying here in Ecuador.
Hola. Buen día.
Let's make a circle, okay? Come on, Armando, come here. Can you hear me?
Sí, me escuchan. Chévere.
Cool. Good, let me introduce myself. I'm Tamia, a self-defense instructor. I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It was developed by monks who wanted to fight to protect their territories, but didn't want to fatally wound anyone. So jiu-jitsu is a martial art which seeks to protect me, but without causing mortal harm to the other person, right? So let's start with the self-defense exercise. Never use force against force. Never use violence to combat violence. So this martial art teaches us that if he's strong and like this, I should move to the side. They killed my father and nobody wants to say who did it. Who ordered all that? I know he'd want his daughters to know the truth and be freed through knowing the truth. And a country can also be freed through knowing the truth. Because the assassination of a presidential candidate is not a minor thing. Yes. Why do we do this? To learn to feel each other's strength. And when we fight, I will use his strength against him and in my favor. That's why this is a sport where smaller people like me can defend themselves against someone as big as him. Our greatest fear right now is that things will stay the same. If there's any fear, it's that things will not change. So that fear is a big driver. If I'm already afraid that things won't change, how do I move forward?
Ecuador's democracy is under pressure. Yet people like the Villavicencios and Paul Moposita are taking responsibility and resisting, with protests, art, and perseverance. Though they face dangerous and wealthy opponents in the drug cartels, these Ecuadorians refuse to give up on their country.